Merry Christmas, everybody out there in BoobTube, in VidMe, in Twitchland. Waiting for the advertisement to end. And we are back. So, those of you who have been following me for a while might know that I am not big on the blogs. I prefer to produce content. But there's been quite the kerfuffle about this in the interwebs. And I want to point my own thoughts. Shut up, Gosei. Seriously, Gosei, shut up. Why can't I turn you off? And I want to bring out my own thoughts about it, because really it's a stupid issue. But everyone's talking about it, and seeing as I have been in many, what would be the correct terminology? Well, they've always been called Friends of Ally, or Ally, which are basically LGBT groups. And my philosophy has always been very simple. The entire LGBT community is based upon one principal concept, that they want to be treated as just a normal part of life. They don't want they don't want attention to be brought to it. It's just something, it's just a part of life. It's a part of humanity, and just accept it. So, a big problem that I have with comics and movies and whatnot is that they'll introduce an LGBT character just for the sake of diversity for diversity's sake and say, oh look, we've got diversity. And then they bring all this attention to the character being special and important and breaking the mold. But really, if you're actually trying to honor the LGBT community, they just want to be treated as something as part of the normal everyday life. It's just something that humans do. It's just part of humanity. And so my philosophy has always been, if you were to switch the LGBT characters out with a straight couple, would you still be drawing attention to that same scene? And the entire Overwatch stuff got me thinking, because I don't really play Overwatch, I don't follow the Overwatch stuff. So I went and found the Overwatch comic that has been causing all this kerfuffle, to see just exactly how it's being handled. And honestly, it's being handled the way the community would like. Let's zoom up, shall we? Let's go back and actually look at how the scene involving Tracer starts. So Tracer has just come back from, if we actually read, you'll see it's an entire shopping Christmas thing, you know. You can't find the gift you want, and then you give it to somebody who actually needs it. Let's see here. What's the option to zoom out? This'll work. Just quickly scan through it, as you can see. The gift that Tracer is looking for. But someone else also wants it. So they give it off to the person because, you know, that's what good people do. Now all bummed out, yada yada yada. Gets a gift for their good deeds. It's from the person, you know, in the previous scene. Or I guess that's the implication. Could be a different person. It could just be, you know, good karma coming back. And we have Tracer arriving home. Though, from what I understood of Tracer, doesn't Tracer always have to wear the little chest thing here, or she kind of fades out of the timeline? Anyway, I don't know too much about Tracer, so I can't really say for sure if that is the truth or not. But, you know, yada yada yada, move forward. You can read the comic yourself, you can easily Google it. And as you can see, the scene doesn't really play out as anything special. Well, I mean, if you didn't know better, you might assume that they were sisters or something like that. And then you have the big dramatic scene that everyone's in a kerfuffle about. And honestly, it just plays out the way it should. It's no big deal. There's no surprise look. It's just, you know, a normal couple doing normal couple things. And it isn't even all that big of a deal. Because literally the very next frame is referring back to what we had at the very beginning of the comic, which is Beast here, being all upset that no one's come to his Christmas party. I mean, literally, it's a bookend, folks. We actually go back to page 1. Well, after all the credits. But you can see right here, literally, Beast here is, upset that that Tracer is apparently going to be late to his Christmas party. And then we have Tracer's little side story. And then immediately, we're down to there, and it actually ends not with Tracer. In fact, Tracer's only 1/4 of the page. It's actually pretty mild. It's not that big of a deal, folks. And really, this is the way it should be. Because if we actually zoom out, so we're looking at fit to height. There it is. It's 1/4 of the page. The rest is all focusing on Winston Beast here. And if we look at the other, and if we actually look at the next, it's the other Overwatch people doing their Christmas stuff. You can see right there, just a big Christmas celebration. This is a relatively minor part of the story, as it should be, in keeping with what the LGBT community would want. So get over yourself, people. It's not diversity for diversity's sake. It's handled in the way it's supposed to be handled. It's a standard Christmas story about finding a gift, showing, goodwill towards man and giving the gift away, getting the gift back through karma, and then, the wrap up. Who you're giving the gift to, a holiday smooch, and then meeting up with your surrogate family for, a surrogate party. We see everybody's Christmas celebrations. I mean, it is a Tracer comic, so it's going to have more Tracer focus, obviously. But we're just seeing everybody here celebrating Christmas. So, folks, this is not diversity for diversity's sake. This is the way it's supposed to be, where it's just normal. And I'm actually kind of frustrated that people are getting in such a tizzy over something that's being portrayed as, you could literally interchange the redhead with a male protagonist, and it would play out exactly the same. It wouldn't feel forced. Get over yourself, people. But I'm going off on a tangent. So, let me go and do zoom, 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 zoom. So I can move on to the side subject of this. Because I have been silent about this long enough, I might as well, since I am on the tangent, talk about what the LGBT community would actually like to see portrayed in media. This is a good example. Some middle-of-the-ground examples, things that would technically be good, but go against the actual meaning of the community, would be, for example... no, the execution's actually pretty good, but let me see if I can find you a picture. Zulu. Where would it be? I think this is the scene. Let's see if I can pull it up for you guys. I don't feel people quite understand what the LGBT community actually is looking for. And I want to provide a little bit of enlightenment this holiday season. So we have this scene, which again is played pretty well. A bunch of people fleeing from, crashing spaceship and all that fun stuff. We've got Sulu's husband and I presume their adopted child because, genetics and logistics and all that. And it's, played pretty seamlessly. It's just people fleeing from, destruction and all that, as they should be. But here's the rub. Sulu's character, from the original continuity, was a married man. He had a wife and all that. Sulu's actor, George Takei, is, of course, gay. And so, in order to respect Sulu's actor, they changed Sulu's character. And Sulu had a problem with this. George Takei had a problem with this when he found out about it. Because because there's this thing called acting, it requires you to emote and play someone you are not. And I think that really gets to the heart of what George Takei's issue was, is that they had changed the character to fit the actor instead of, you know, instead of creating some other character to honor the actor. Because when you change a character to fit the actor, you're actually degrading the actor by saying for example, George Takei or someone honoring George Takei cannot play a straight character, that a gay man cannot play a straight character. And that's horribly insensitive. I think that's what George Takei's main issue was, is that people were saying that, or basically implying that because his actor was gay, that his character had to be gay. And I understand, George Takei basically took issue with the fact that his character, because remember, as much as the timeline may have changed, it's still Star Trek, it's still the original series. The Kelvin incident may have changed Kirk's life, but it's not going to change. That's the big thing the LGBT community is trying to get people to understand, that it's an intrinsic part of the character. Simply changing, just having the Kelvin incident happen is not going to change the orientation of a character, unless other stuff happens, obviously. And I think that's really where the issue comes in, is that they changed the character to honor an actor, and in turn dishonored the actor and the character. How could you have done it better? Well, I mean, there's a million ways you could have done it. You could have had Sulu be, standard straight male, and have a gay child. This girl, for example, because she's a new continuity thing. We don't know much about Sulu's children in the original series. Maybe there is in the expanded universe. I don't know, for example. But I'm using this as an example. You take something that doesn't force a orientation onto a character because the actors had the same orientation. The same argument is bandied about with people saying how Billy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This guy. How everyone is saying that this guy in universe is gay because his actor is gay. But in universe, Billy was awkward and, nerdy, but he was clearly heterosexual. And it's the same thing. Because the actor is gay, people say that the character has to be gay. And that's dishonoring the actor, that's dishonoring the character, because you're basically forcing an orientation onto a character when, the entire nature of acting is to be able to portray someone who is not you. Anyway, that's my rant, folks. I wanted to get it out there because of the entire Tracer gate, I guess. So yeah, next time you start getting up in arms about the portrayal of a character's orientation, keep in mind that a character and an actor are two separate things, and a gay actor can play a straight character, and a straight actor can play a gay character, and a straight actor can play an asexual character, and a gay actor can play an asexual character, and a gay actor can play a monkey, and a straight actor can play a monkey. And Tracer can be gay as long as it's portrayed in the same normal way that you would portray a straight couple. Good night, everybody.